Welcome back from the break. This week on Vox Pop, Michael So speaks to the people of Perth about a radical trial to ban problem drinkers from purchasing alcohol.
Racing and Gaming Minister Paul Papalia recently announced plans to introduce a new banned drinks register, which will prohibit problem drinkers from buying alcohol. Under this new proposal, patrons at liquor stores will be required to produce ID that will be scanned to determine if they are on the database of repeat offenders. It will be trialled in the Pilbara and it could become nationwide. Do you agree with such a system that prohibits repeat offenders from buying alcohol? I'm about to hit the streets of Perth to ask people's opinions about this. First of all, what are your thoughts on WA's drinking laws?
They're a bit lax, as far as I'm concerned. People in society get away with too much alcohol problems, fighting, etc. in the streets and stuff, you know?
I guess I'm opposed to it. I think it's a bit of an invasion on people's privacy to go to that extent.
I think they're okay-ish. I feel like they're regulated well enough for the most part, but it's very easy to get away with things if you're underaged and whatnot, and there's a lot of a pressure to drink in WA, especially for younger people, so it can definitely use work, but it could be a lot worse, put it that way.
I guess they could be improved by limiting availability in certain areas.
Do you think these restrictions in the Pilbara regions will be beneficial for Australia-wide?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, cutting back on alcohol intake saves fights, saves trouble in the family. It's important.
They may be for the Pilbara people locally. I know some of the areas there do have problems, but, you know, I think the community should be let to look after their own policing.
Well, in the Pilbara, it's very evident that if a person can't go and buy alcohol, they will send somebody else to buy it for them. So I'm not sure how effective that those restrictions are, because I wouldn't say that they're working really well up there.
I mean, I think the more that you can sort of keep tabs on it without intruding too much on the sort of laws and what people can do, I think that's usually for the better. It sort of stops a lot of nasty things leaking through. A lot of accidents that can be avoided can be, avoided that way if you do it. So I think it's all right for the most part, yeah.
There may be concern about privacy, especially with all the details of repeat offenders being on a database system. So what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, look, some Russian hackers probably got all our personal details already. You know, I think adding some more information online is not going to change the world too much.
Privacy is important, but in regarding matters of alcohol and alcohol abuse, I think that privacy issues shouldn't be trumped, well, are trumped by that.
Well, with the current breaches on many database systems recently, I wouldn't expect that would be a good thing to be doing.
Yeah, I think it is a breach of privacy, but I think so long as people are given an option to have it known, that makes it a little bit better.
A lot of drink driving offences and violences associated with alcohol are actually from young people. So do you think that the age limit should be raised from 18?
That's a good point. Maybe it should. It's 21 in America and other places, so if 18-year-olds can't actually prove that they can drink responsibly, then that's maybe a good idea.
No, I don't think so. I think it's adequate as it is. So it'd make it too difficult to enforce anyway.
No, I don't think so. 18 seems to be reasonable.
Never happen, you know. In a country where you're allowed to vote at 18, I don't think you can make any restrictions on them to do anything, you know. I think in Australia, 18, you're an adult.
Yeah, I think America's stance on the 21 age is pretty good. It does help.
Not necessarily the legal age. I just think the accessibility of alcohol for younger people should be moderated a little bit more. I think it's got nothing much to do with the fact that they're 18 instead of, say, 21 per se. I think it's just the accessibility that's the bigger issue, and that's why a lot of those things happen, personally.
I think an education from an earlier time should be implemented so that people don't go and turn 18 and then everything breaks loose and they go and do stupid things. Unfortunately, the education and the system within the family is not there.
Thank you for watching. I'm Michael So reporting for Undercurrent.
The Animal Protection Society of WA takes in sick and injured animals needing care. Annabelle spent some time with them to find out what exactly this involves. She brings you the story.
Today we're here at the Animal Protection Society, an animal shelter for cats and dogs that promotes pro-life. We're going to speak today to some dedicated volunteers about the work that they do.
Basically, we're a non-government funded organisation. We're a rescue for dogs and cats.
And when did you start up? How long has it been running for?
I've been here for about 2.5 years now, and Janine's been here for a lot longer.
How long have you been here for, Janine?
28 years.
28 years. And what sort of has it been like for the 28 years? Do you see dogs come and go? Are they adopted regularly? How does the process sort of all work?
Yeah, there have been quite a lot coming and going. We've had quite a lot of new areas built and stuff like that. It's a lot different than when I first started.
And I do understand that you have an event coming up, a sleep out with the dogs. Natasha, can you tell us a little bit about this?
We're sleeping in the kennels for one night. It'll be the 1st of September, so it's probably still going to be quite cold. We have to make up our own little bed and share with one of our companions.
It's going to be a bonding session, isn't it? And you also have cats here as well. So how does the cat shelter work?
Basically, we've got a lot of volunteers in. We've got volleys in the dogs and in the cats, so the areas are quite different. You've still got your picking up after them and stuff like that, and changing beddings and all that sort of thing. So.
And how do people that are watching this and really want to get involved volunteer here? How can they volunteer here?
Probably the best way is just contact the APS through their Facebook page and see what opportunities are available. We're always after new volunteers for looking after the dogs, walking, just general like cleaning, caring for them, also with the cats, and yeah, just like play with the animals, spend time with them.
Have that personal connection. Yeah, definitely. And I do understand you are all voluntary working here. How important is it to actually get funding from the people of Perth to actually keep you guys running and keep these animals in really good need and care?
Yes, that is part of what we do here. We rely basically very heavily on donations from the public. Every little bit helps.
Tell us a little bit about the cat shelter.
It's a non-kill society. The only time the cats actually do get put to sleep is if the vets can't save them. But I mean, we've got cats that haven't got an eye, or they've had a leg taken off. We just nurture them and look after them.
Definitely. And Jan, can you tell me about approximately how many cats there are here at the moment? I see there's beds everywhere, cats roaming around. How many approximately do you think there are here?
I think in this area there's possibly about 60 in the main outdoor area, and then we have cats in quarantine, and we have cats down in the hospital, and of course the kittens. And Sharon would probably be able to answer your question as to how many are in quarantine and in the hospital.
Sharon, how many are in quarantine?
At the moment we've got 10 in hospital. They're basically the signs of cat flu, sniffling and sneezing, so they get taken out of the environment and taken down there, and after sneeze guards, the vets look after them, or look at them and everything.
So I understand they get the best medical care then in that sense, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Can you tell us a little bit about the fostering process? If someone's watching and they really would love to foster a cat and actually contribute to their well-being, how can they do that?
I mean, the majority of people that work here have got cats. When I first started, I'd got 2 cats. I've now got 5 cats. 3 of them, they're actually foster. 2 are permanent fosters. One's got kidney failure, and it's unfortunate, but he will eventually die. And the other one, Tipsy, she's got hypothyroidism, so she's on medication twice a day. And the other one is sort of like a little kitten. But I've actually fostered mum cats with their kittens and got them to a certain age, then they come in here, the kittens get adopted, and then the mum will go through and be sterilised and vaccinated, and then she'll come in here. But the majority of people that come in just want to adopt a cat, and we show them what we've got.
For more information about volunteering and donating, please head to the Animal Protection Society website. Thank you for watching. I'm Annabelle Pinardi reporting for Undercurrent.
A dream home comes with security and stability, but also has ongoing pressures of expenses. In an exhibition held recently at Heathcote Cultural Centre, 7 artists explored the concept of the double brick home. Tony ETC was there.
We are here today at the Heathcote Cultural Precinct for the Double Brick Art Exhibition. 7 amazing artists who are showcasing their talents for the people of Perth, Western Australia to see.
My name's Yana Braddock and I'm the curator of Heathcote Museum and Gallery, but also the wider Heathcote Cultural Precinct. At Heathcote we have a new exhibition every 6 weeks, so that's 8 exhibitions a year. We've got a beautiful opening here this evening for our 7 fantastic artists for Double Brick. The housing in WA and the way Australians feel about housing. And it's really interesting that they talk about home ownership, and I think it's been quite topical in both in politics recently, but also, you know, in the media. We talk a lot about this idea and sense of home and sense of place, but also the housing market and its impact on the economy. So I think it's something that's in the back of everyone's mind almost constantly, and the artists have explored it from such different angles this evening, so it's been really, really interesting.
I've got here the artist who made this masterpiece.
It's all about morphing. I've morphed the bricks. I've changed their shapes, I've disfigured them, but when you walk around the back, you can see them all piled on top of each other. They're all hollow inside, and I'm playing with shadow and light. It's all to do with very cubistic shapes. Repetition of patterns, smooth edges, sharp edges. The work refers to sad angles and no openings. And this relates a bit to fortification.
And we've got right in front of us an amazing piece. What is it about?
Perth is one of these cities that houses have been predominantly built with bricks, and we have stuck with that format of building for, decades and decades. And it's interesting when you look at the history of the bricks, where they were manufactured all along the river of Perth, the Swan River, and you wouldn't know they were there unless you go into the river, and I paddle regularly, and I found all these bricks submerged in the mud. It was like a graveyard of bricks just oozing out, and I sort of was inspired by that to make these particular works.
In my work, I have 6 pieces in this exhibition, a series called Safe as Houses, with concrete houses suspended at different rates into a column of sand. And that's to express that anxiety around the myth of home ownership. Financial anxiety and emotional anxiety that goes into living for that dream.
Okay, so I worked in painting. I usually work in print and drawing, but I decided to explore painting tonight. I'm really interested in mapping and our relationship with geography and how manufactured geography, like the way we change a geography, how that relates to us as humans inhabiting this place. So I was kind of more fascinated with the land clearing, and the more and more of us with increasing population need more housing. We all want to own our own land, which means that we need to clear more land to make that happen. And I took my source, I guess, from Google Maps. So I looked at Google Earth images of northern suburbs, northern metropolitan suburbs, and that was my inspiration for my paintings.
Even homes within yourself, it's not always structured, and it's not always as strong as you would like, and it's hard to fix. And I've purposely taken a naive approach to fixing these. I've hammered the nails in on dodgy angles, and I haven't quite fixated the safety pins in properly, but it's all the attempts to try to fix for stability. So everyone just wants stability, and these are, I suppose, my yearnings for that stability.
The idea of it being double brick is an attitude that Western Australians have, is the only way that houses need to be built. So mine is like the fake wall is kind of representing this stubbornness and this, like, you can't get past it, that kind of thing, this frustration that I felt coming in to live in Western Australia. So yeah.
Okay, this one is to do with insurance. The Romans used to have household deities, and they'd have a little shrine in the house, and they'd put the god or whichever one they wanted to placate, they'd put on the shrine. Portuguese symbol of good luck, brain for mental health, the cornucopia, the rats are to do with invasion. So you choose what you want to prevent. You make your offering and you hope that you're covered. Just like insurance. You pay and you pay and you hope that you're covered. So.
I hope you all have enjoyed today's art exhibition, and I am Tony ETC for Undercurrent.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Undercurrent. That's all we have time for, but we'll be back next week with more Perth stories. I'm Deanna Cooney, and I'll see you then.